Hi, my name is Helena Taylor. I am just doing a little presentation on a job that I would like to pursue once I complete my degree in marriage and family studies. And the career I've chosen is a foster care caseworker. I have an aunt that has worked in this area. She's in a little bit higher position, but she has worked in this setting for about 15 years, I believe. And she just really loved it and had a lot of good things to say about it. Just as I've looked into it more, it just seems like something I'd really want to do. And so as I looked into it, I was kind of looking into seeing the typical things that go into this job and the kind of things you need to do daily. And pretty much common job tasks are, making sure that the foster parents are licensed. You go in and do evaluations. Caseworkers need to do a lot of home studies, which will include checking on financial, medical, criminal backgrounds. Um, and then, of course, once the child is placed, you have to make regular visits and make sure that everything is going well. Um, Make sure that they're adjusting. You also need to make sure that any outside services the child needs are arranged. That is all on the caseworker. That doesn't fall on the foster parents. Um, and then, of course, there's always paperwork. Paperwork and records, documents that you may need to write and present um, to other people, which kind of brings me to some of the stressors I was looking at. Um, Caseworkers often have many bosses, is what one of the sites said, which means that, of course, including your direct supervisors, there's also a lot of different people that you need to report to. That includes judges, attorneys, review boards, just a few examples. And another thing that could be stressful, which I was pretty aware of already, is secondary trauma or compassion fatigue, as they've called it, because you often have to witness, emotional events and transitions, and a lot of these kids are coming from um, abusive homes or just not very stable homes, or they themselves have issues, um, emotional and psychological issues. And so this can often be difficult, especially as they're transitioning from house to house. If things aren't working out, it can be kind of emotional. Um, but those are just a few of the things that I found about that. Uh, Another thing I was looking into is typical hours. From what I was reading, it sounds like the hours can be kind of unconventional, not necessarily 9 to 5. So I also read that depending on your caseload, you can end up working a lot more than 40 hours a week. Um, and that just kind of depends on where you're working and what you are willing to take on. And so that, of course, and I would imagine that you need to be available for emergency incidents or situations. And so, it can kind of vary, I think, a little bit. Some of the salaries, it was hard for me to find a starting salary, but I saw anything from uh, about $15 an hour to $50,000 a year, but the average salary was about $42,000 a year. Um, and then, of course, uh, some other things that I found were that you need to keep up on your licensure certification, and a lot of times they require you to keep furthering your education, um, which I think is a good thing anyway. And yeah, I just was talking with my aunt about this. She just said that it was most of the time it was a really positive thing. You're helping these kids get into a better home, into a better life situation, so that they can grow into their full potential. And so I just think that's something really great. You're helping people, kids, which is awesome. And a lot of times you're seeing improvements, of course, from where they were. And if it's not working out, you put them in another home, and you just keep working with them so that they can have a better life. And so I just kind of like that idea more than your normal, typical social work. Um, I just think that it's really important to have a family, and so I just think that's something great to be involved in. So that's pretty much it.